Hey everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Pokemon Productions. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know that only recently I have found out that my channel has reached 500 subscribers, which is unbelievable, if in all honesty. I wasn't sure I'd be able to make it to this number, but I have. I do have a special to commemorate this occasion in the works at the moment, but there is one game that I want to talk about before that. So before I start work on my 500 subscriber special, I'd like to talk about a game that I recently finished. It's a game that actually came out this year for the Nintendo Switch 2. This will be the first Switch 2 game I've covered for the channel. Donkey Kong Bananza. Now, when this game was announced, and after I saw all the reveal trailers, I was hyped for this because it looked absolutely amazing. So as you can see, we've got Donkey Kong here. One thing to point out, I'm not the biggest fan of the redesign they've given Donkey Kong. It doesn't really scream Donkey Kong, but you know, it's kind of grown on me the more I've played the game. And we've got a 13-year-old Pauline on his back. So this, yeah. I mean, it makes sense they'd bring Pauline in because she's been growing in popularity. Anyway, let's read the back of the box. Something in the way? Smash it. Explore an underground world in search of golden bananas. Cut loose with Bananza transformations. Unleash your wild side with Pauline singing. Share controllers for 2-player co-op. And DK Artist, sculpt and paint with mouse controls. Now, yeah, this is obviously the latest Donkey Kong game. And one of the key things about this game is the fact that you can smash almost anything. Like the ground, the walls, ceilings. It's pretty much, I think about 90% of the environment in the game is able to be smashed. And that is actually really cool. It's very, I don't know, really. It's kind of, I guess you could say it's a satisfying thing to do because just smashing everything really makes you feel like Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? I know that's a bit of a cliche thing to say for many video games, but it really does. It really does. The bananas you collect are called Banandium gems, and they're basically scattered all over after being discovered and then collected by this mining company called Void Company. And smash them open. DK then eats the pieces and you get a skill point. Well, not a skill point, you get 5 Banandium gems to get a skill point. And then you can upgrade your stuff, like your health, your strength, and all that stuff. And the place, it's kind of like a free roaming thing. Like you can freely roam around. In a way, this is Donkey Kong's answer to Super Mario Odyssey, which was released for the original Switch way back in 2017. And I love Super Mario Odyssey. And I thought, while I was playing the game, I thought to myself, this is really giving me some Odyssey vibes. This is giving me some vibes courtesy of Super Mario Odyssey. And you know, one of the key things about the game is the inclusion of Pauline, who is actually 13 years old. While this does create some confusion as to when this game is set, I tend not to think about that because it's Donkey Kong, it's Nintendo, that sort of thing. You basically encounter Pauline first as Odd Rock, like this little purple thing, but then during the first Bananza, you actually free her. And that's another thing, the Bananza transformations. Once you unlock a certain Bananza transformation from the different elders you can find throughout the underground world, you can unlock different transformations, different forms for Donkey Kong. Like the Kong Bananza greatly increases his size and strength. You can even punch through concrete. The Zebra Bananza increases his speed, which allows him to run across crumbling terrain and even walk on water, or rather run on water. The Ostrich Bananza allows him to glide and fly through the air for a while, which is weird because ostriches can't actually fly, but you know, like I said, video game. There's Elephant Bananza, which basically allows him to vacuum up certain terrain with his trunk and then bring it out as chunks he can throw. and the Snake Bananza, which allows him to double jump, charge up a massive jump, and use a move called Glare to slow down time. If you ask me, I'm not sure what my favourite Bananza transformation would have to be. It's kind of a toss-up between Kong and Zebra, and maybe Elephant as well. I think the one I use the most is probably Kong Bananza, because it's the most versatile. The one I use the least is probably Snake. And throughout those, and obviously to activate the Bananza transformations, you get Pauline actually singing. And there's a bit of a story arc for Pauline where she's actually where she's not the most confident person. But the further you go into the adventure and the more Bananza transformations you get, by the time you get to the final one, she's actually a lot more confident in herself. And I think it makes sense why they'd have Pauline singing in the game, because she was actually a part of Odyssey as well, Mario Odyssey, and she was basically singing the Jump Up Superstar, which was the theme song for the game, or at least I think it was the theme song. And she actually sings a song for the credit sequence as well, which is fantastic. The voice actress for Pauline is fantastic. That's another thing. Pauline is the only character in the game who is actually voice acted. Like, she actually does speak all the lines, whereas every other character just does, like, grunts and stuff. But Pauline speaks in perfect English. Why? I don't know. But anyway, Donkey Kong and Pauline basically advance on a quest to get Pauline back to the surface and get DK all the bananas he can get, while foiling the plans of the evil Void Kong, head of Void Company. And the different layers you can get in the underworld, well, underground world even, fantastic. There's hilltop layer, lagoon layer, freezer layer, canyon layer, forest layer. The layers are so beautifully crafted and they beautifully designed that you sometimes forget that you're actually underground for the most of the time. And during the final confrontation, you're actually in New Donk City from Mario Odyssey, which is fantastic. Brilliant throwback. I won't say who the final confrontation is because I do not want to spoil it, but it was fantastic. Quite a tricky fight at the end, but I think you'll find the final reveal after you beat Void Kong. I think you'll find it very exciting, because I certainly did. I was shocked by what happened, and I'll leave you guys to find that out for yourselves. I dare not spoil it. So, above all, I think that Donkey Kong Bonanza is possibly one of the best games Nintendo has released and in recent years. And it's definitely one of my favourites from the Nintendo Switch 2. And that's saying something, considering as I've only got a few games on that, including the likes of Mario Kart World, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I've recently downloaded Resident Evil 4 on it. But this has to be my favourite game so far from the Switch 2. And if you guys do have a Switch 2, then I highly recommend you pick this game up, because it's brilliant. The story is heartwarming and emotional, and it's also incredibly fun to play. The characters are all very funny, and there's actually DLC released for this game now, where you can explore DK Island and take part in this mode called Emerald Rush, where you collect loads of emerald ore for Void Kong, which I think is really fun. So yeah, I highly recommend picking up Donkey Kong Bonanza if you've got a Switch 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I just want to say my next video will be my 500 subscriber special, so I really hope that you can join me for that day. But until that day, see you next time.